My name is Mia Dunlap, and I am the host of the Audacity show. I am bringing you behind the curtain to give you a sneak peek into my life and share with you how I am curating the life that I love and the journey that I've taken to get there.
What are important parts of self-care that you focus on?
Self-care is all encompassing, that we're whole beings. And so social care, spiritual care, I journal, I take a lot of time to just be still and be with myself and allow myself to just breathe and think. Financial care is I get the help that I need. I didn't grow up having a ton of access to help, and so I give myself permission to ask for help and not have to be the strong one. And I think a lot about the community that I have. They are also a part of my self-care, which is what I think of as social self-care.
Tell us a bit about your therapy journey.
Oh my gosh, therapy. So I started therapy when I was about 15 years old. I know that feels really young, but I started because I knew that there was something that I needed help. And I knew that at 15 that I could trust my guidance counselor at the time. And so she was a person that I really just entrusted all of the stuff with. And so I started that journey at 15 and I continued from then. When I went to college, I was still in counseling. But the pivotal moment about therapy for me was as an adult when I continued to choose it, even after, even despite the fact that there were so many stigmas against going to therapy, especially going as often as I went. Anytime I can be in a therapy session, I was there, weekly, if not more. And about 9 years ago, I was living in New York and I found a therapist that I fell in love with. I went in, I think at first thinking I should impress him, I should show him all the ways that I've already been in therapy and he'll know that I'm already good. But there was a moment in therapy where I realized I don't have anything to prove and that I was enough as I was. And so that began a really transformational part of my journey in therapy. I stopped lying and I stopped trying to be good and I stopped trying to do therapy perfectly. And so therapy has really been transformational for me because I allowed myself to be honest and I allowed myself to go through the process in the most authentic way that I could. One primary example that I have about being in love with myself is I'm soft with myself, particularly when I make mistakes that I didn't used to be like that. I used to be very hard on myself and I used to get mad. I used to shut down, but now I'm at a point in my life where I do feel like I deserve grace and that I'm worthy of making mistakes and things happening. One primary example of this that I'll share is that I've had an allergic reaction before and I didn't believe myself. I was just like, why? Like you're doing too much in this environment. Like you don't really have an allergic reaction. Maybe you're just itching. And when I had my second allergic reaction, I realized the difference in my response, which was you get to be soft. You get to be sick. You get to not be well and honor that.
How has your relationship with yourself changed over time?
This is a really hard one. When I was younger, I used to have a lot of internal self-deprecation, particularly because I'm dark-skinned. And so I wouldn't say it often, but being a dark-skinned woman and experiencing colorism constantly, I had to make some decisions about what I would let myself feel and what I would just suppress. And so I remember when I was really young, about 10, I remember going to sleep and saying to God, if you love me, you let me die tonight. And I said that because I was experiencing so much shame and so much, just people were just kind of graceless. It was like, I did not choose my complexion. And so that was a challenge. That was a challenging time. And what I learned though during that time was my mindset around how I started to look at myself. Like I couldn't look in the mirror and honestly say I felt beautiful. And so it was a lot of times hard to do that, hard to look in the mirror. so now I realize that that mindset was sort of leading me to not get into relationships and not stay in, developing insecurity. And so now what's different is I'm far more available to myself, and I can say the things like, you don't feel pretty right now. And that's okay. Like, there will be days where you don't feel pretty, but that's not a definitive statement about who I am, that I'm not beautiful. And so my relationship has changed in that I can look at myself now, and I can look at myself adoringly in a way that I was not able to experience when I was growing up.
What's your personal superpower?
If I tell you, you cannot tell anybody this. But my personal superpower is my intuition. My intuition reveals so much to me, and it's the reason why I take so much time with myself in the mornings. I get up at 5:30, sometimes 6 o'clock every day, including weekends, because I want to spend time with my intuition. And I know a lot about people. I know a lot about stuff that's around me because my intuition is constantly speaking. It's the reason why I journal, because honestly, anytime I'm not journaling, it's because I'm trying to avoid something or because I don't want to know the truth about something. But my superpower really is the way that not only my intuition speaks, but the way that I can listen to it. My self-care affirmations are: I am worthy of love, that I'm worthy of goodness, that I have nothing to prove, only something to share, that I'm available to myself, and that it's a power to be available to myself. Another one is I just get to feel, and I don't have to feel bad about feeling. When anger comes up, you're here again. I welcome you because there's something that my body needs to feel, and then I can decide you don't get to stay, but you can come through because you knocked. And I'm not going to not let you in because you're going to keep knocking if I don't let you in. And so I just give myself permission to feel and affirm when the feelings are there. One of the things that I've learned is that we are with ourselves for the rest of our lives, that we are our people. And so I have to really be intentional about who I let into me, how I let people get close to me, and how I am with myself. This body is going to be with me for the rest of my life, and I have to give myself permission to be good to it. And so I just am learning that, and it's really transformed my life and allowed me to be able to curate a big and beautiful life because I first start with myself.